Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good morning, teacher.
Where are you? Yes, there you are. Excellent. Okay, let's give a couple minutes for people to join. Okay. Okay, so looks like we have a good amount of people here. Can you guys show your face at least so I know that you're here with us? Zainab, Chatai, Mukadesh, or Mukadesh? Is it She? Mukadesh? Mustafa, Melissa, Atahan, Salim. Nice. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Are you awake? You look you look like you just came out of bed. Metin, who's your friend?
Hi.
Hi. Who's your friend?
My cat Lucy.
Okay. All right. Ozan, Isra, can you guys show your face? Let us know you're here. Thank you. Okay. Nice. All right. So, how are you? Are you okay? Give me like a thumbs up if you're all right, if you're awake, if you're listening, something. Yes, thank you. Chata is awake. Okay. So the lesson, our lecture online today shouldn't be, I mean, we're not going to take up the full hour. But I just want to touch on a couple of things about the listening that I assigned last on Monday, the discussion forum posts, and then I want to introduce the reading that I'm going to assign for your homework. And if you saw on our course page, it's the assignment isn't available yet. I mean, you can't submit it yet because we're in class, and I set the availability for submitting the assignment after class so people wouldn't be trying to do it during class. But it should take some time because it's based on the reading, and basically the reading that you'll do for homework, there's some questions that you're going to answer, and then you'll submit that Word document with the answers to the comprehension questions. And then on Monday, we're going to use the same article, and we'll do some summary writing activities in class. So that's why it's really important to read the article for homework. Make sure you answer the questions so that you can interact with the article. We'll check the answers together on Monday to start the class, and then we will get into the summary writing skill. So the first thing I want to touch on is the listening. So did anybody have any issues accessing the listening? Because I think maybe less than half of you that are enrolled actually attempted the listening. So let me see here. We had a common question that everybody who attempted the listening, remember this was about diversity and globalization with James Soon, right? So can anybody tell me, there was a common, even some people typed in, I don't know, for the answer for this one. One of the questions asked, what does Soon mean by saying that the US is a melting pot? There were like 3 or 4 people who just typed, I don't know, I have no idea, which is fine. That's okay to type in these, just reading exercises. But can anybody tell me, what do you think that means? That there's a melting pot. Some of you got it right. And I emailed also the correct answers. Can anybody tell me, either using your microphone or in the chat, what does he mean by melting pot? I believe the question was, what does Sun mean by saying that the US is a melting pot? So what does this mean, melting pot? Any ideas? Waiting. You can respond in the chat as well. I know that it's early, but just because I see your face doesn't mean you're gonna get participation. I need some interaction here. Sure, melting pot. So one of the questions from the listening that we did for homework was about the US is a melting pot. This is a pretty common phrase. I think you guys are the international relations class, right? A lot of you are IR students, right? So you'll hear this a lot in your studies, actually. So you should know what this means. It's kind of informal.
Can I say?
Yes, please.
In a place, people's styles, theories, or some other things are mixing. Everybody think different things.
Everybody thinks different things? Okay, I mean, that's part of it.
Like culture. For example, in Turkey, we get other countries' culture.
Yes, exactly. So basically what he's referring to here, as we say, is explaining that there's different, not just different cultures, but they also have different groups represented, right, in the society. So, for example, if you go to San Francisco in the US, you can find neighborhoods, Chinatown, for example, Little Italy, for example, Japantown, for example. So these are examples of how it is a melting pot, how it is a mixture of all these different cultures, not just a few visitors from a different country, but people who have a group that's represented in a bigger nation. Can you think of, I mean, would you say that Turkey is a melting pot?
Yes, of course.
Okay. What are the different groups that are represented in Turkey?
There's a group of Balkans people, and also, I don't know, the Syrians, maybe.
Okay, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of Syrians in Turkey now, right? Yeah. What about any other countries from around the world?
There are a lot of immigrants from Balkans, and as I said, the Syrians, and some, I don't know that word. Şey ne demek ya arkadaşlar? Bu işte ne bileyim Gürcistan, Azerbaycan falan. Sınır ülkesi ne demek? Bir dakika çevireceğim. And also there are a lot of people from the boundary countries.
Okay. All the border countries, right?
Yes.
Okay. You also had a economic worker deal, right, with Germany in the past, right? So you can also say you have some European cultures represented in Turkey, I guess. And also in Germany, of course, there's Turkish culture represented. And Europe, almost all the countries in Europe are, Europe, EU, as in general, you can say is a melting pot, because like everywhere you go, all the countries are so small, right? It takes less than a day to travel from one to the next. Some of them you can travel through like 2 or 3 in one day. So definitely Europe you can also describe as a melting pot. US, does anybody know the population of the United States? Anybody know the population? How many people? Good guess. Muharrem, a little bit low. Ozan, yeah, you're closer. A little bit higher. 327 million people in the US. It's a lot of people. How many, what's the population of Turkey? $86 million. Okay, yeah, I think it's like 80 to 85 million. I don't know exactly, but yeah, 82 million. Yeah, who knows in the last few years, right? Because you had a lot of migration coming into Turkey, so it's not sure. But yeah, from what I understood from my classes, you know, I am also a master's student at Kadir Has. My department is international relations. So all of the professors that I have, we talked about the comparison between the population of Germany and the population of Turkey and being very similar in numbers. Okay, good. Thanks, Engin. Okay, so yeah, this idea of melting pot, kind of a mixture of cultures, good. So I emailed, for those of you who did attempt the listening, I did email the answers. I mean, I graded them. It's just about, participation again. So if you didn't attempt this last homework, I recommend definitely doing this homework, especially because you don't want to miss out on the active participation in class on Monday. I want to now talk about the forum posts, the discussion posts. So your major assessments in this class include 2 major process writings. And the first one that we will do, which I will assign, I assigned the reading in week 5, and we're in week 2 now. So we have some preparation to do, especially judging by the discussion forums. We have some work to do. Because your first process writing, your first essay, is a summary response. So in the discussion forum, I asked a question to have you discuss your opinion. I'm going to. So the question was, I'm going to post it in the chat to remind everybody. Okay, so this was the question for our discussion forum. Now the forum is closed, right? Like a lot of people responded. I'm happy to see that there was some interaction. However, we have to work on developing the response, because I will share my screen because it's visible anyways to everybody in the class. And I just want to highlight, most of the responses are way underdeveloped. So the question is, do you agree with the statement, globalization and diversity definitely go hand in hand and can get better over time? Write your opinion in a paragraph, 1 paragraph, presenting your reasons and examples. Can anybody tell me, now you're in university, you've already written essays and stuff in high school and probably middle school. How many sentences are in a paragraph? What do you think? How many sentences are there in a paragraph?
A minimum 3, I guess.
Okay, yeah, this would be this could be maybe a conclusion paragraph, because in an essay, right, the conclusion is just kind of short. We do an overview statement, maybe to summarize or restate the thesis statement, for example. But if you're giving your opinion and you're also presenting reasons and examples, how many sentences do you think is appropriate for a paragraph?
5. I don't know.
Any other ideas? Anybody else? Do you agree with your classmate? 7 to 9, okay. I guess if you're getting really, really detailed. So I would say 5 on average. Yeah. Yes, Mete, yes. 5 would be okay for, let's say, a body paragraph. And this is where you're giving examples, you're explaining your opinion, you're supporting your argument, whatever that is. So if I, so you can all see this anyways because it's on our screen. So can you see the forum?
Yes.
You can see the forum, right? Okay. So I'm sharing from our class because you can all see this anyways. So I'm not doing this to be mean or like to tell people that they suck or something like that. I'm just doing it because I think that it will, I just want to address these issues right away before you go into writing an essay and write really underdeveloped ideas, okay? So if we think about write your opinion in a paragraph, presenting your reasons and examples. So most of these, you can see as you scroll down, some of these are really, really short, right? Just like 1 or 2 sentences. There's no specific examples to back it up. A lot of people mentioned racism. Okay, great, but can you give me an example? What do you mean racism? Where are you talking about? What is something that you read in the news, maybe? Because you're getting these ideas from somewhere, but you're not using any specific examples to back it up. So you want to say things, you know, like, for example, in the US, or for instance, in the UK, or another example, in Turkey, you know, this happened. So most of these are really underdeveloped. These are all really underdeveloped. I'll point out, I'll give kudos to a few people here. So Engin here. What's up, Engin? So Engin here has a really nice start. This is a pretty good paragraph, a pretty good response, I would say. So he has his topic sentence, so I know exactly what he's talking about. Okay, globalization and diversity may not always have beneficial effects. So here I can tell that he disagrees with the statement, right, with the question. You don't have to say, I completely agree or I completely disagree. You can also use language that indicates that you agree or disagree by making a strong statement. People often migrate to different countries because of their financial situation, where they may be marginalized by society and their success may not be accepted, which is absolutely wrong. So this is a good second sentence to lead into his example. For example, and then he refers to the video. People who are successful but not local may not be accepted by the community. I would expect then you might follow with a sentence that also relates to this, right? So you might give an example of of Starbucks opening in Turkey but not being welcome, maybe, for example, right? Or in Italy, they do not accept Starbucks, actually. So you could give some kind of example like that to also follow it up. So I would say this is a great start, but maybe just one more sentence that would be a little bit more specific than referring to the source. But using the source here is great, and that's what we want you to do in this class. That's why we have the listenings and the readings, and we go over these together. Okay, so I would say this is a good start by Engin. Let's go down to Melissa. Okay, so Melissa, I think you have an okay start here. Okay, I'm not going to give feedback on every single one, but I just want to point out some that I think have a good start or an okay start, and give you some feedback so that you all understand how you can kind of develop your body paragraphs. So you say, Melissa, I agree with this statement. Okay, great. So we understand your stance. I think globalization and diversity act together. Okay, another solid stance. This can get better in the future because diversity is increasing day by day, and in the future it will be completely changed. All right, but at this point I would expect you to get into a more specific example. Where are you talking about? You know, what sector are you talking about, maybe? Like, if you want to talk about, you know, clothing brands or food brands or something, you might give an example of how globalization and diversity act together. So you might give an example of, I don't know, a sushi restaurant in Istanbul, for example, because that you can talk about how the globalization of, you know, bringing that culture into Turkey, and then also diversifying the food culture in Turkey, right? So that's something you should start by the third sentence. You should be heading into a more specific or narrow example. We should understand where are you going with this, okay? Otherwise it starts to get a little bit repetitive. So now maybe it is hard to get better because of racism in some countries. Okay, that's fine. But then I would ask you, what do you mean about racism in some countries? So here I would expect you to say, for example, in the US, in the UK, in Europe, in, you know, I don't know, Southeast Asia, I don't know. I would expect you to give an example related to racism and to support this sentence here, okay? Any questions so far? Okay. The next one I want to highlight is Barancel, okay? Here, I think we have a nicely developed paragraph from Barancel. So, in my opinion, America and such countries have diverse population, and it can be good opportunities in case they use it wisely. So here I understand that he agrees with the statement. And then he gives some examples. Nations have different secular term behaviors, such as Germans. They are very disciplined and hardworking. This affects their business life. They have one of the biggest industries in the world. Then he goes on with more examples. America and countries should exploit these people, so giving some suggestions even. So this is really good development. Giving examples, also talking about his own ideas. And then here, he even sums up the paragraph, his ideas, right? So to sum up, the most vital issue is globalization and diversity can walk side by side if the countries acknowledge diverse groups. Okay, so they can reach high standard of living in their countries. So I would say this is a pretty well-developed paragraph. So good job, Barancel. The next one that I want to highlight is Shafak here. So Shafak and also Alparslan below. So I would say that these are like an okay start for a developed paragraph, okay? And the reason is, so you have your statement here. You know, do you agree or disagree? I think globalization and diversity have been important issues since the beginning of history. I think throughout history, people have not been able to adapt to this diversity, but with the increase in penalties in recent years, people seem to be putting an end to this discrimination. So here, it's been an important issue. I'm not sure if you think it's a good thing or a bad thing. Shafak? Shafak, can you tell me, do you agree or disagree with the statement, with the question? Let me check the chat. Good thing, okay. Okay, so if we look at what you wrote in the forum, do you understand why it's not clear? Right? So saying that it's an important issue isn't the same thing as agreeing or disagreeing. You have to be clear when you state your opinion, okay? And you're not the only one that did this, but I highlighted this because you have like an okay start, and same with Alparslan, you have an okay start. Alparslan, you actually wrote, I do not agree with this statement. So your opinion is clear. But you both have underdeveloped paragraphs because you don't give the specific examples, okay? Alparslan, you mentioned racism, but what example do you have about racism and how it has affected globalization and diversity? Okay, and the last one I want to highlight, let's see, is here, Mukadesh. Okay, I would say this is a good development for your paragraph, for the response. Okay, can see, you know, I don't like to do the word count because word count doesn't always equal good. It's about the content. So as you can see with her first sentence, this two concept make the society and the market strong. So from this, I understand that she agrees with the question, okay? So you don't always have to say, I agree, I disagree, I believe, you know, you can just make a strong statement. And then she goes on with some examples to explain it more simple when you're on internet and you Google something, okay? So this forum is open. You can always go look at these examples. I'm recording the session today, so you can always also look back at the session. I will send the link out in our email after class with the homework assignment. But you give some really good examples here, Mukadesh, like talking about Amazon. Amazon is a huge global market. So please, for the rest of you, you know, I didn't want to take up too much class time highlighting all of these, but because they're visible to all of us anyways, I wanted to just kind of highlight some of the stronger ones. Okay, the other ones you understand, I think, now looking at these examples together, that whether or not your response is sufficient or not. Okay, so I expect more development from you. I want to hear your opinions. I want to see you give examples, because if you cannot give it in a forum, I don't think you're going to do very well writing it in a paper for a major assessment. So here is where you get your practice. Okay. So, all right, any questions about developing your response? Let me check the chat. No. Okay. Okay, then. Let's move on to the reading vocabulary. Okay, so if you go to our course page, under week 2, you can find the reading I've posted, the homework under week 2. So it says 101 reading, are we all becoming the same culture? Okay, so this is the homework. If you open it up, you will see this document. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, so can everybody see my screen, or were you able to access it on KHAS Learn?
Yes.
Yes, okay, great. So here in class, I just we'll do the pre-reading vocabulary and discussion questions, but then I'll send you on your way to do the reading. So, it's a pretty complex reading, but you have until Sunday to, do the reading, and then there's some comprehension questions that go with the reading. So when you submit this, you're just going to type in the answers here, and you'll submit this Word document. You can include the reading or not, doesn't matter. There's an assignment tab open under week 2 for this for the reading comprehension questions. And then on Monday, I'll address any issues if people didn't understand part of the reading according to these questions. And then on Monday, we will do a summary writing activity with this reading in class. So it's really important that you read the article, try to answer the questions so you can check your comprehension, so that you can participate in class on Monday and develop this summary writing skill that you're going to be assessed on in both of your writing assignments. So let's take a look here at the first question. So I'm just going to ask you this question number 3 here. Do you think globalization has improved people's lives? I would like to hear from a couple of people. Do you think that globalization has improved people's lives? And can you give an example?
Yes, of course. Otherwise, we can't drink the Starbucks coffee.
Okay, some people might argue that the Starbucks is the downfall of our.
Not for me. Not for me. I'm in love with that brand, that girl.
Okay, anybody else? Oh, here we have chat going. Okay. Çağatay and Shafak say yes. Can you give an example, guys? Çağatay or Shafak? Why do you think it has improved, or how? What about cost? For example, pizza is production of globalization. Okay. Are you saying that pizza has improved all of our lives?
Teacher,
Yes.
for example, globalization improved the trade around the world. We export lots of things in
Okay.
economy.
Okay. So do you think that maybe this has improved how much things cost?
Can you say again?
Do you think that this has improved the cost of things? Like how much we pay for things?
Yes.
Okay. Any other ideas besides pizza? Extra workspaces. Okay. Are there workspaces in Turkey or Istanbul?
Yes, but teacher, I don't give a specific example. I can't give a specific example.
Okay. Well, when you are writing essays as homework, you will have time to do some research, and hopefully we will mention it in some of our materials as well. Okay. But yeah, it's a good example. Yeah, so if you think about like clothing, if you look at the tag on your clothes, made in China, right, or made somewhere, and this is they call it fast fashion, which is not great for the environment, but it's cheaper for us, right? So lots of items coming from other countries, especially China for whatever reason, are a lot cheaper than buying local. Okay, good. Why don't we take a minute? So on your own, you can see the vocabulary on the screen, right? It says match the words with their definition. Yes? So I'll give you a couple of minutes. I want you to try and do not put it in the chat. Like, don't start posting the answers in the chat yet. Globalization is a process of interaction. Okay, yeah, thanks, Muharrem. Yeah, good example. Okay, nice definition. That's okay, next time. Okay, so for now, let's match the words with their definitions here. So don't share your answers yet. I will ask for the answers in a few minutes, but you can let me know in the chat or using your microphone when you're finished so that we can go over the answers together. Okay, Mukadesh is done. Anybody else? Or do you need more time?
Sure, I can answer the first question.
Hold on 1 second. I just want to make sure that everybody's finished,
Okay.
or most people are finished. Can anybody else let us know in the chat or on your mic if you need more time or if you're finished? Done? Okay. Sude, thank you. Okay. Okay, Celine, maybe 1 or 2 more people since we have almost a full class. Okay, great. Okay, before I start calling on or asking for volunteers for the answers, for pronunciation purposes, I will just read through the vocabulary words so you don't feel nervous that you'll mispronounce something. So diffusion, number 1 is diffusion. Number 2 is homogeneous, homogeneous. Number 3, prevalent, prevalent. Mainstream, minority, regulation, identical. I think just the first 3 are questionable maybe for some people. Okay, so somebody volunteered to do the first one.
Me, teacher, I can do the first one.
Okay, go ahead.
First one, diffusion is the process which information, ideas, changes in behavior spread through a group of people.
Nice. Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next.
I can.
Okay, go ahead.
Homogeneous, be consisting of parts of members that are all the same.
Nice. Good. Okay. Next. Any volunteers for number 3?
Teacher, I think.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
D.
Can you read the word
Existing,
and the definition?
teacher, existing very commonly or happening often.
Okay, good. Prevalent, yes. Okay. Selen, you want to do number 4? I see you in the chat. Selen, we're on number 4. Huh, okay, no. Okay, any other volunteers for number 4?
Can I, teacher?
Looks like Isra. Isra got it in the chat. 4E. Yeah, can you read it? Since he doesn't have a mic.
Any small group in society that is different from the rest because of their race, religion, or political beliefs.
So do you think that matches with mainstream?
Yeah. G. Maybe G.
C.
C.
Turkish J, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so number 4 is G. Yes, sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. Yes, you're right. 4G. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna read I'm gonna read definitions of the last three. Can somebody mute their yes, thank you. I don't know where all the noise is coming from. So I'm gonna give opportunities here for participation. So I'm gonna read the definitions for the last three. I want you to type into the chat. What is the vocabulary word? Okay. So, any small group in society that is different from the rest because of their race, religion, or political beliefs. What is the vocabulary word? Çağatay got it. Yeah. Okay, number 5. Okay. Yes, minority. Okay. An official rule or the act of controlling something. Okay. Good. Regulation, yes. Regulation. All right, so the last one should be easy. Exactly the same. What does it mean? Yeah, what's the word? 7. What is 7? Don't be lazy. Yes. Thank you. Shafak, Celine, nice. Okay. Good. Okay, any questions about the vocabulary?
No.
No? Okay. So for the reading then, real quick, looking at the title of the reading, what do you think you're going to be reading about?
Globalization.
Wow. Yes, very first word here, right? Globalization. Okay, what are the topics do you think that they're going to touch on in the reading?
Maybe fast fashion or fast food sectors.
Okay. We have food here. Yeah.
The topic and examples related to globalization.
Yeah. So we have factor 3, food. What's factor 1?
Language.
Nice. What about 2?
Clothing.
Okay. The last one?
Extremism.
Yes. Good. Okay. Together we can answer this first question. So what is the main argument of the author? Where do you think you would find this? If we're reading an essay, where do you find the main argument of the writer?
First paragraph.
Okay, where?
First body paragraph.
First body paragraph.
Yes.
So that would mean here, under language.
Yeah, language.
Okay. Are you sure?
No, over the
No,
language
teacher, I
paragraph.
think the introduction of this paragraph is the main idea. I think.
Okay. Where would we find the main argument?
I don't know.
Do you know what a thesis statement is in an essay? Okay.
Teacher, in the first sentence, definitions the globalization.
Uh-huh.
And then it talks about the globalizations and gives examples.
Yes. So here they're kind of introducing the topic, right? What is
Yes,
globalization, right? But here we have our main idea. So this is where the author is giving their stance, their opinion, right? So they introduce globalization, maybe talk about some advantages, but here they are talking about their own opinion. However, the deeper and more consequential layers of the culture say otherwise. Xenophobia and movements including Brexit and Trump are more prevalent today due to globalization. So do you think the author thinks that globalization is good or bad?
The author thinks that globalization is bad.
Okay, good. So we can see this language here, right? The seeming
Yeah.
threat of globalization, right? So here you already have your answer, right, to number 1. So we've already started our questions for the homework. I want you to use your own words though. Don't just copy and paste the text down here. You could copy and paste it, but then put it into your own words, okay? It's important. It's important that you guys practice paraphrasing, okay? So this is your homework. It's due by midnight on Sunday. Okay, there's a link already open, an assignment link on KHAS Learn, where you can submit this Word document with your questions filled out. And feel free to, it's a Word document, so you can mark it up as much as you like. You know, highlight like you would if you brought it to class. You might write the definition of some words or something, but that might be helpful to you when you're doing the summary writing activities in class on Monday. Okay. Any questions about the homework?
No.
Okay, I think maybe it's time for coffee.
Yes. Thank you, teacher. Thank you for reminding me coffee, by the way.
Yes. Okay, then if you don't have any questions, I will see you on Monday. And please email me if you have any questions about the reading or there's something you don't understand, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye. Have a nice
Bye,
day.
teacher.